Raiding in TBC is fairly straightforward. You know where you stand. You've got a 3-day lockout currently on Zola Man. You know you've got a weekly lockout on the others. And you just do them on either 10 or 25 because that's what they're intended to be. Wrath of the Lich King changes that slightly and it can be quite confusing, and it's actually something that I hope to see changed. You may be unfamiliar with what I'm talking about, but on most of these raids you can do them on 10 or 25 man, and when I say most, I mean all. All the raids from tier 7 all the way through to tier 10 you can do on 10 or 25 man, or should I say 10 and 25 man. But there was some changes to the way raiding worked in 3.3, but none of the previous tiers were touched. So could we go into a Wrath of the Lich King where one tier in particularly is affected majorly, or will we have it how it was back in the day? Allow me to explain. So in tier 7, if you don't know, oh hi by the way, in tier 7, don't know why I done that, that's awkward. In tier 7, you've got Nax, you've got Obsidian Sanctum, and you've got Eye of Eternity. Now, all three of these can be done on 10 man and 25 man. There's no heroic difficulty, there's no boosted difficulty, nothing like that. You've just got 10 man and 25 man, both of what you would just class as a normal raid. So you can do both of those. You can go do 10 man and you can go do 25 man in the same reset. Rightfully so, because 10 man has got its own unique gear, 25 man has got its own unique gear. And I get asked a lot, can you just be a 10 man raider and, you know, compete with 25-man raiders because is the gear that similar? The answer is unfortunately no. 10-man's got unique gear, unique trinkets, unique weapons, and some of those people will want. Even if they're a 25-man raider, there will still be 10-man items that they want because they fit into their BIS list nicely. Trinkets spring to mind, and you know we'll look at that in future videos where we're looking at actual specific gear from specific raids and what are sought after items. Let's just think about the raiding in Wrath of the Lich King. So as I say, tier 7, we've got Nax, we've got Obsidian Sanctum, and we've got Malagos. All of these can be done on 25 man and 10 man normal. You've also got Archivon, which can both difficulties can be done again. So 10 and 25 man normal. Now Archivon will drop tier. He'll drop 10 man tier in 10 man and 25 man tier in 25 man. And that's tier 7. Then when we go into tier 8, we get optional hard modes. Now Ulduar is all that gets released in tier 8 plus an additional boss in the Vault of Archivon, which is going to now drop tier 8 pieces or tier 8.5, you know, the 25-man version or the 10-man version. But you can still, in Ulduar, do both 10 and 25-man versions, and both raids drop different gear. There's certain bits in 10-man hard mode that you're going to want, and if you're wondering, well, what is hard mode? Hard mode is just an optional way of killing the boss, and you can do 10-man hard mode, and you can do 25-man hard mode. So to give you a couple of examples, you've got Hodir, who basically his hard mode version is just a speed kill. You've just got to kill him really quick. So you'll see a lot of people drop down to one tank and even possibly one healer just to beat the tight sort of timer to be able to get the extra cash or chest, whatever you want to call it, that spawns, which has got additional hard mode gear. Same with Thorim. So Thorim is just a race to get through the tunnel quick. So in Thorim, you split up into two teams. You've got one team that goes in the tunnel, one that keeps the arena at bay. As long as you get through quick, it activates an additional boss that you don't fight. It just casts Blizzard and it's just generally just annoying, but it don't change the fight that much. All it requires is just a bit of extra speed to get through. Now, you're probably sat thinking, well, okay, you're just explaining all the raid tiers. What do we need to know? What you need to know is now, Tier 9 changes a lot. And I believe they knew that they went wrong with Tier 9, and that's why it changes again in Tier 10. Allow me to explain. So Tier 9 brings Trial of the Crusader. Now, Trial of the Crusader is a 10 and 25-man raid, but both raid sizes also have a heroic mode. There was also a 5-man, Trial of the Champion, that's released, which also has a normal and a heroic mode, but that's hardly relevant. We're talking about raiding. So you can do each week 10-man normal, 10-man heroic, 25-man normal, and 25-man heroic. It's 4 completely separate lockouts. That's a hell of a lot of loot, and that's a hell of a lot of doing one single raid, you know what I mean? And this is where things could change, because the intention of that I don't think was there. It was the first heroic raids that they added, and they probably didn't know which way to go. But they then reverted that back in ICC. So when we go into ICC in Tier 10, you've got heroic and you've got normal, and you've got 10-man and you've got 25-man. But you can only do 110 and 125 a week. But when you're raiding, so let's say you do the first couple of bosses on heroic, it gets too difficult, you can change it to normal, but it's still the same ID. You can basically only kill each boss once on either normal or heroic, but you can only do one 10-man raid and one 25-man raid. Not a full heroic clear and a full normal clear of 10, or a full heroic clear of 25 and a full normal clear of 25. You can only do 10 and 25 once, no matter what difficulty you kill each boss in. But this does also mean you are still locked to that ID. So you couldn't then group up with another group of people who have killed 4 bosses and you've killed 2 bosses and you're like, oh, we'll just join your raid because you've still got the ID. So you still will need to get the same people together, but you can optionally kill each boss on normal or heroic, whatever you're comfortable with. So this is what I'd like to see changed, possibly. Being able to do both raid sizes and both raid difficulties in tier 9 is probably not what they intended, and that's why it was quickly changed with tier 10. So I'm wondering, and I put it to you guys in the comments, should they leave tier 9 exactly as it was, where you do heroic and you do normal each week on both raid sizes, or should it be more like ICC, like tier 10 and then onwards, because it stayed like that forever? Firstly, if you're new to the channel, thank you for watching. Thank you for finding me. Be sure to like and subscribe. And secondly, if you're new to RAF and you wasn't sure how the raids work, now you know how the raids work. So this video has hopefully been both educational and got you thinking about, oh, actually, that doesn't make much sense. But anyway, guys, peace out, much love, roll the outro. There's lots of ways you can support the channel to keep me here putting out World of Warcraft content and covering all future MMOs. Consider joining the channel as a member. You get access to emotes, everyone will know you're a member when you comment on future videos because you get a nice icon next to your name, and you get access to members-only videos, which I'll be putting a lot of on the channel throughout the year. Additionally, there's a Patreon link in the description as well. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you on the next one.